95 thousandths. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. The mission today is to see if I can come up with a sleeve puller. Saw several designs on eBay, all very simple, all very buildable in my modest little shop here. And I'm certainly not going to pay $100 plus shipping for something that I can make out of scrap laying around here. So let's have a little fun, make a tool, see if we can't get these sleeves out of this engine block. Perfect. Now what I'll do is cut another chunk of flat bar, 95 thousandths longer than this one, and weld that to the back of the one you see here, and then that will grab the outer lip of the sleeve with just enough clearance that as I squeeze this down through, it'll clear the block. Then I'll drill a hole in the center, weld a 3/8 nut on there, get some 3/8, sorry about the crappy camera work, get some 3/8 all thread, and then I'll work on the top side for the receiving end. Okay, picture all thread going through the center of the two pieces instead of that bolt. That was just to keep everything aligned temporarily. You'll notice the top piece is just a little bit longer than the bottom. The bottom is the one that slides down inside the old liner, and the top one grabs the lip on top while still clearing the bore and the block. So now I'm going to hit it with the belt sander really quick in a couple of spots and then tack weld this together. And there you go. I was just searching through the hoard and realized I don't have any 3/8 all thread. So it means a trip to the hardware store. I've got some 1/4 inch, but I think that's too flimsy for what I'm trying to do here. So I will incorporate the hardware store trip tomorrow because it's Friday and it's Romeo's. For those of you that are new to the channel, every week me and several of my Power from the Past tractor buddies meet at a local restaurant in Sierra Vista have lunch together. Romeo's stands for retired old men eating out. Well, proof of concept. Sorry about my arm. So I'll pick up some, yeah, I don't know if you can tell or not, there's just enough clearance from the edge of the tool to the outer lip of the sleeve so it won't contact the block on either side. So tomorrow I'll pick up some 3/8 all thread, and then we'll create the top of this thing and then see if we can't get a sleeve out. I'm going to start on number 3. That's the sleeve that came loose when I was initially getting this engine unstuck. In one of the earlier videos you saw that sleeve rise. So I'll start with that one. That should be the easiest one, just for proof of concept, and then we'll take it to the other ones after that. Hey, check out this floor. Now I got to do the rest of the shop. It's pretty much a disaster. All right, I got my all thread picked up and I've got it attached to the bottom half of our sleeve puller. I went out into the hoard and I found this little chunk of channel iron. So I got to drill a hole in that. That will be the top and mount right here. And then we'll either use the head studs or some blocks or something up on top of the head that the ends of this can rest on. And then hook that on the bottom of the sleeve. Start cranking on the top nut, which will go here. We'll see if we can pull our first sleeve. Well, here's the setup. I'm initially using the studs on the block. I might have to cut a couple of chunks of wood longer because these sleeves are longer than those studs, but at least I'll see if this puller's going to work. I don't know if you can see down there or not. My little puck down there. So, yeah, I'm going to start cranking on that with my trusty Sears 9/16 wrench. I bought a whole set of these, which I still have, at Sears when I was 10 years old, 58 years ago. And, you know, I saved up my shekels and coins, and I bought this set so I could work on my bicycles. This isn't Craftsman. This was Sears Economy brand back in the day. I'm sure made in Japan. Yep. Made in Japan. But I mean, they've lasted 58 years, so they got to be good. Well, we're set up on cylinder number 3 because that's the cylinder that originally popped out when I was unsticking this engine. So let's just see what happens here. Well, she's starting to come out. We'll take that for the win. She's rising right up there. So my cheesy little puller made from scrap, except for the all thread. I did have to buy that. I didn't have any, but the rest of it was all made with scrap laying around the hoard here. Originally, I was going to cut this excess length of all thread off, then I thought, no, I might need that for something else one of these days. So I will bring you back once we have this sleeve out. Okay, I've reached the end of the stroke here. Let's see. Oh yeah. The cheesy little puller worked perfectly. I'm happy with that. 2, 3, and 4 came out like butter. But number 1 is being stubborn. It's stuck. I think that has something to do with the fact that that is a letter E size sleeve in a D bore, or maybe that's an F. Ooh, might be an F. Anyway, it's super tight, so I'm gonna have to just nurse that one out. But my cheesy little tool, which I have a total of $3.97 invested in, worked really good. I may need something a little more robust on number 1, but I'm going to keep going with this. I have upped my game. I cut a couple of pieces of flat stock, 1/2 inch thick, just a little longer than the head stud or the block studs, and I'm going to try that. This thing was just using the head studs. This thing was rocking and tilting and not keeping square to the cylinder, and I wasn't gaining any headway at all. So I'm going to try this. That doesn't break it loose. I'm going to change this out for a heavier piece, and I'm going to go for a heavier all thread, probably 1/2 inch or 5/8, and we'll see if we can't get this stubborn cylinder sleeve out. Well, that didn't quite work. I've got that straightened out, and a more robust weld, the full length on both sides rather than tack welds. So this don't break, the cylinder liner probably will. There's always that one that just fights you, but I think I'll have victory over that. The other 3, like I say, just came out like butter. Number 1's really stuck, so well, that's the way it goes with old iron. The last thing besides number 1 is going to be the cam bearings. I originally was going to see if I could gin up some kind of a tool to remove those, and then my pal Greg, El Rancho Costa Plenty, said, well, hey, I've got a complete cam bearing puller / installer. He just needs to put a couple of new O-rings in it, which I'll reimburse him for the use of the tool. But yeah, cam bearings come out, and then we're going to steam clean this block, strip all the paint off, and it'll be ready for the machine shop. So we're coming right along. Yeah, my little tool, I'm really happy with that. It worked out great. It's pretty much a clone of what I saw on eBay. I don't want to I know I complained about the price, the eBay price, but I don't want to beat them up too hard. You know, when you think about it, people on eBay are business people. They're in it for a profit, and that fella's or gal has got real time and money invested in material, tooling, and everything else to make those sleeve pullers. So, you know, I can't gripe too much about the price because that person knows how much they've got into it just to make one, and to be somewhat profitable they have to make a bunch in a run and sell them. So I can't fault anybody for trying to make a profit. When you think about it and add it all up, $103 for material, time, labor, machinery, all that kind of stuff, depreciation on tooling, $100 is probably not too far out of the box. So anyway, enough about that. Hey, welcome if you're new here. Glad you're here, and hope you enjoy the content enough to stick around. My existing subscribers have been around for a long time, and I appreciate all of you. And I say this from time to time, especially for the newer viewers. I don't actively seek subscriptions. You guys know the whole drill. You know, it's free, and ring the bell for notifications, and I feel that gets annoying. Last thing I want to do is annoy my viewers, so I don't do that. I just figure, well, hey, you're here. If you like the content, you'll stick around. If you don't, you leave. It's pretty simple. So with that, I'm going to say see you later, everybody. This is Labor Day weekend in the U.S. 2025. So hope everybody has a safe, enjoyable weekend, and be refreshed. Kids be ready for school next week. Adults be ready to go back to work. Bye, everybody.